You don't put that on YouTube.
Good morning. Oh, so you have to grab it from the other side. I think it's gonna be easier because you're gonna come from the driver's side. Come on, bring it here. Good morning.
Coffee first. Good morning.
Oh, you have to have coffee. He doesn't drink coffee. All right, so Mr. Chef Tash is here to help us today. After we fixed his doors yesterday, so he's gonna grab it and he's gonna drop it down there. He just asked me to drop the front end a little bit lower because he can't go over the hump. It's too high for him. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna drop it a little bit lower, and then we're gonna watch him bringing it in.
I'm hoping I'm going to be more successful than the last engine that I pulled out, where I had to pull the oil pan off because I couldn't get enough height on it. So hopefully this goes better.
I remember that.
Yes.
Okay, let's get ready so we can start. It's already 9 o'clock, 1 hour later, and the engine is still not inside. What's happening?
Well, I'm sitting here and I'm having a tea, and all I can smell is gas.
We encountered a problem. Just before we started putting the engine in, it started leaking gas from over there. I moved the little line here that is missing right now, but the line that goes to the fuel pump, I just moved it out of the way, and all of a sudden it started leaking gas from underneath. And then I started playing with clamps and stuff, and I couldn't stop the leak, and finally I took the line out, and this is what I found. That's why I couldn't stop it leaking. So we have to fix this before we put the engine in. So we're just wasting time.
No smoking.
No smoking around. All right, so 1 hour later, and the engine is in place, the transmission is in place. So it was a little bit harder than what I expected, but actually without this guy here, I was gonna be in the probably here for a whole day.
No.
So
Maybe saved you 15 minutes.
well, I don't think so. Anyway, it's in place, so I can do the rest now on my own. That's not a problem.
All right, just cleaning up the exhaust manifold, gasket service, and then we're just I'm gonna help you assemble this correctly.
Please
Okay.
show me what the correct way is.
So you put the gasket on, right?
Yeah,
You put it like this.
yeah.
Okay. And then you put it on the car.
Yeah, I know.
Tighten it down.
It won't fit the other way, right?
No, it only goes one way. Okay. All right, we're sure we have it on properly this time.
Somebody else also did that
I
mistake.
know. They must have watched my video.
Yeah.
How to do it the wrong way.
Okay, I don't know if I mentioned that, guys, but we are installing the exhaust, the stainless steel exhaust from David's TR6. He replaced his exhaust with, what did you buy from Moss Motors?
The polished stainless steel system.
You
From
bought,
Moss.
okay, and the old one, it's still stainless steel.
Falcon.
It comes to this car, so that's what David is gonna do. He's gonna install the manifolds on this side and the downpipe for the exhaust while I'm assembling the steering rack and cross member here. I didn't forget to put the belt first, so that's good. So that's where we are at.
Step on my toe.
Okay.
Kids,
Steel toe.
I need to film something, kids. Okay.
You don't put that on YouTube.
Okay.
That's going to be the intro to his video.
Definitely. The kids are playing. All right, so we have a lot of progress done, and we didn't make any updates, but this is a pretty straightforward job to just hook everything up where it was. So obviously we have the engine in, we put the new green hoses and everything. There's only the other side, the green hose, I still have to hook up, but we lost the pipe. I lost the pipe and David found it at some point, so now I can finish it. What else have we done? The new ignition coil, obviously, the new steel braided line for the oil pressure gauge I just finished installing. And what else? We need to run the line here for the overflow bottle. Oh, here, the EGR valve that was here, and there was a pipe coming to it. I wanted to plug this hose, but I don't have anything with these threads, so I'm just gonna put back the EGR valve. I'm not gonna hook it up though, so it's not gonna be functional, but it's gonna be there just to plug this hole and this hole. Then we need to plug these holes for the vacuum on the carburetors, and that's more or less everything that we still need to do. We need to install the battery, and inside, of course, we need to hook up the drive shaft, and the transmission is not bolted here, so I still need to bolt that, and we're gonna be pretty much ready.
Exhaust.
Oh, exhaust. Why did you remind me of that?
Sorry.
I was gonna start it without the exhaust.
Well,
Yeah, we still need to run all the exhaust underneath. So we'll see how far we're gonna go today. Might be some other day. I don't know. It's already what, like 2:30? We've been here since 8. So
pretty good though. Got the engine in, got all the, basically the whole engine compartment done.
yeah.
So
I wasn't expecting all this to be done today, so we are much further than what I expected. Thanks to this guy.
I was expecting to go for a drive today.
Well, we can still go without the exhaust. Okay, so Mr. Sheftash is gone. He helped a lot today, and I'm really thankful, because otherwise I was gonna spend days here to assemble all this by myself. So, all jokes aside, I'm really thankful. That was a big help. So, thank you, Mr. Chef. However, I'm a little bit impatient, so I keep working here, and I installed the EGR valve and hooked it up here. Like I said, it's not going to be functional. I'm not going to hook up the vacuum to it, so just plugging in the hose there. Run these hoses here, so these holes on the carburetors are plugged in. Everything else is assembled. I even put the exhaust on. It's kind of sitting on my jack, but it is in place, no clamps, nothing, so of course it's gonna leak. But I'm impatient. I'm not even gonna hook up the drive shaft for now. I just want to start the car, you know. I can't wait to see if it is gonna run and how it is gonna run. As far as I'm concerned, what I need to be able to start the engine is install the battery, pour some oil, pour some coolant, and prime the fuel system. I'm not gonna prime the oil system. I just finished assembling the engine yesterday, so it still has assembly lube all over the place. So I'm gonna unplug the ignition coil. I'm gonna crank it a little bit until it builds up oil pressure, and then we're gonna put the ignition coil, and we will see if she's gonna start. Alright, so I think I'm ready for the test start. I put the coolant, I put oil, I went with VR1 by Valvoline 20W50 because it has added zinc, so that's my preferred oil always for these cars. The battery is installed, there's no leaks so far. So far so good. I know I have to install the clutch slave, we don't need this to start the engine. And yeah, I think we're pretty much ready. So like I said, I disconnected the ignition, and now I'm gonna crank it a little bit to see if she's gonna build oil pressure. Why is it cranking as if there's no compression? Something is wrong. Okay, guess what? I'm upset at myself again. This is the compression that we have. So, how do I say that? I don't even know how to say that. Well, I screwed up the timing. I went and I watched my video, which is not posted yet. Thanks God I haven't posted it yet because it's wrong. I watched my video when I timed the engine and I did a very stupid mistake. I timed it to 110 degrees before top dead center instead of 110 after top dead center. When I screwed up the last time, I think with the transmission, somebody commented, I can't believe that you remained that calm when you figured out your mistake. Well, this time I'm not calm. I'm like really upset at myself because that's such a stupid mistake that I made. I don't know what I was thinking and there's absolutely no excuse to that. I'm so disappointed at myself. So it looks like there's gonna be another timing video coming up soon. Oh, I'm laughing, but I'm not, like, I'm really upset. So all this has to come out again. So I have to remove the rod, I have to remove the cross member, I even have to remove again the steering rack so I can pull out the pulley and open that cover and do the timing correctly this time. Oh, anyways, and there's something else also. There's oil dripping from the oil filter like crazy. I don't know why, because I made sure to put the gasket there, but it's leaking a lot. Anyways, we will see. I'm just giving up for today. That's enough. I'm sick and tired. Tomorrow I'm gonna start fresh again. I have to remove the bonnet and all this, I don't want to say the word, from the engine and do that again. So of course that's gonna be in my time, not in Trevor's time. Anyways, I'm disappointed and I'm gonna go inside and cry, and when I'm done crying I'm gonna probably edit another video for you to see, and then later, and then tomorrow I'm gonna start disassembling again. Yeah, that's how I left the garage off yesterday. I got pretty upset with myself. So anyways, I'm calmed down now and I'm back in the garage, and I don't know how well I explained what happened last time. As you know, I did the timing on this engine a few days ago. I double checked and I triple checked the timing. Every time I came to the conclusion that the timing is perfect. It's 110 before top dead center. Before top dead center, yeah, that was my mistake. I somehow, in my mind, mixed up the before and after. So I double checked and I triple checked and my results were correct, because when you have the wrong go, you achieve the wrong go, right? So this time it wasn't a mistake with the actual process, it was a mistake with my go. Where was I aiming? So I was aiming at 110 before top dead center instead of after top dead center, which is the correct timing. So I have no idea. Honestly, I was thinking about it. I watched my video and I couldn't figure out how. So many times I said it and I pointed at it and I did it, and not even one time it occurred to me like, hold on, what am I talking about? It's not before top dead center, it's after top dead center. But anyways, I'm rambling. So what we did yesterday with Mr. Chef Tash here, all this work, well, it was great, except now I have to undo a big part of it. So I'm not gonna hold you here, I guess. So what I have to do is, of course, I have to drain the coolant again, remove the bonnet, the shroud, the radiator, the fan, the cross member, the steering rack, the pulley, the cover, and then I will be able to reach the timing gears and do the timing correctly. And this time we're gonna set the true top dead center with a different piston stop that I've shown you before. I've shown you how I've done it, but I guess not everybody has seen it. So okay, there's gonna be another timing video which is gonna be interesting. The thing is, I was hoping that I was gonna be ready with this car by mid this week, but looks like I'm not, and I don't know, we'll see what's gonna happen. It's purely my mistake, so I'm gonna have to fix this in my own time, of course. First of all, actually, I'm gonna clean up this mess because I can't work like that. I'm gonna organize a little bit, and then we're gonna start working on the car. Well, all things considered, in hour and 10 minutes, we are at this stage. Everything is disassembled, and even my degree wheel is installed, so we can start with the timing. But you know what, it's late at night, it's like 10 p.m. and I think I'm gonna leave that for tomorrow so I can do it with my fresh head after I have my morning coffee. Plus my favorite YouTuber posted a new video, so I'm gonna go watch it, and I'll see you tomorrow. And he's drinking beer. I want beer too. Okay, good night, see you later. Alright, it's the next morning. It's actually a beautiful September morning, and we're back on our 75 TR6. So let's see what we're gonna do with this little error. So I was thinking last night, of course, people think about other stuff, I think about my mistakes. So here we have few options, and the easiest one would be the following. I told you I watched my video of how I timed the engine wrongly, and I know exactly where my error is. I set the timing at 110 degrees before top dead center instead of 110 after top dead center, which automatically means that our crank is 220 degrees off. In this case, in theory, I'm not saying I'm gonna do that, but just saying that in theory, I should be able to position the degree wheel randomly on the crankshaft. Doesn't even need to be set properly, so 0 shows top dead center. I can just put it anywhere, like I did right now. I think it's more or less top dead center, but it is not true top dead center. But that doesn't really matter, because now what I can do is I can unbolt the gear from the camshaft, so the camshaft stays in this position. I can turn the crankshaft 220 degrees, bolt the gear back to the camshaft, and our timing should be correct in theory. But I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna do it the right way. So let's set the true top dead center on the degree wheel. And you know the procedure, right? We need something to stop the piston from going up just before top dead center. So I'm gonna move the crank a little bit away from top dead center, and I'm gonna put this piston stop now. So this is basically a spark plug that was broken. I broke it and I threaded it inside, and I put this bolt in it. So now what I can do is I can put this, okay, and I can put this bolt, making sure that it reaches below top dead center. So I'm gonna bolt it a lot. Okay, I had to install a longer bolt here. Like, I found this threaded rod because my bolt wasn't long enough to reach below top dead center, so it wasn't stopping the piston at all. So now I put a longer threaded rod, and now we can turn the engine until it stops somewhere. So it stopped at, I would call that 17 after top dead center, right? So now if we go this way, let's see where it's gonna stop. Pretty close. Wow, that's 17 as well. So I actually accidentally put the degree wheel at top dead center because these two positions where it stops on one way and the other way, the center point between these two positions is our true top dead center. So now we know that it stopped 17 degrees on this side and 17 degrees on this side. The center between them is 0. So I accidentally put it exactly at top dead center. Okay, so now we can remove the piston stop. I'm gonna just loosen it a little bit. Okay. And now I know that my timing was set right here. You look at my valves here, my intake is fully open. If I put my gauge here now, I know that that's gonna be the peak of the lobe of this intake of the first cylinder. So I'm just gonna undo the camshaft gear now, and I'm gonna turn the crankshaft to 110 after top dead center, and we're gonna try to mount the gear again to the camshaft without moving the camshaft at all. And that should be our correct timing, but we're gonna double check it, of course. So now I'm turning the crankshaft, I'm turning the gear, but the camshaft is not moving because I removed the bolts. So we're gonna go to 110. Right there. And now of course my hose won't match, so I'll need to remove the gear and turn the gear again without turning the camshaft and try to position it there so the hose match. Now this is pretty close, but it's not close enough. If I turn it by one more tooth, it's gonna go in the other direction, the hose won't match. I need to turn either the crankshaft or the camshaft to make the hose match, but I don't want to do that because they're both set exactly where I want them. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna turn this gear by 90 degrees because these hoses are not positioned at 90 degrees to each other. I mean, the two lines that go between these two hoses and these two hoses are not perpendicular. They're made at, I don't know how many degrees, probably 89 degrees or something like that instead of 90 for this exact reason. So now if we want to make a fine adjustment, we can turn by 90 degrees and the other two holes are probably gonna match better with the holes on the camshaft. I hope you understand what I mean. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna turn by 90 degrees or 89 degrees or something like that until these other two holes match the hole in the camshaft, and let's see how this is. No? We need to have a tooth. Okay, this matches better but still not perfect, so I'm gonna turn it 180 degrees now. Let's see this. Okay, that doesn't look too bad. But of course, I'm not gonna trust just this procedure. I'm gonna install the dial gauge and we're gonna check it. So now in theory, with the crankshaft, doesn't matter which direction I go, the needle should go that way, which means it's gonna start falling down, which means that our valve starts closing. It should be fully open right now. So let's go clockwise, or okay, counterclockwise because my wrench is set this way. Now it goes a little bit higher, so this is my peak of the lobe. So this is my 0. Okay, and from here it starts going down. Okay, let's go clockwise. Again, it reaches 0. And from there it starts going down. So now that the gauge is set to 0, we know that our tappet and push rod are at the peak of the lobe, which means the valve is completely open. So now we are on the lobe. What if we go one direction until the tappet drops down 50 thou, mark the position on the crankshaft, then go back to the lobe and drop 50 thou on the other side, and mark the position of the crankshaft as well, and then we know that the center point between these two positions is our peak of the lobe. And we will see if this center point is 110 degrees or something else. So I'm gonna go clockwise, and I'm watching here the needle drops down. So I'm gonna keep turning until it hits 50, thou. Okay, so now our tappet is 50 thou down on one side of the lobe. And this is, I would say, so now we're counting from top dead center, which now is there. So we have 70, 80, 90, 100, 110, 120, 30, 40, 50, 63. 163 after top dead center. So now we're gonna turn it counterclockwise, and we're gonna watch again. The needle goes up all the way to 0, and then it's gonna go down on the other side. But since we're going counterclockwise, we're gonna go past 50, and then we're gonna approach it clockwise, so we make sure that the slack of the chain is not giving us an error, because clockwise is the natural direction of rotation of the engine. So that's where we are, and our position of the crankshaft now is 53 degrees. So now we can add the two numbers together. 163 plus 53 is 216, right? Divide that by 2 is 108. So our number here is 108 after top dead center, and I'm pretty happy with this number because it can't be any closer than that. 108 is just 2 degrees before our mark, but if we have any error, it's better if we have it advanced, not retarded. So that's where we're gonna leave it. That's our timing. Okay, so we are done with that. I'm not gonna hold you here. I'm gonna put the car back together as it was yesterday, and let's try and start it today. I'm really looking forward to that. That's exactly what I needed right now. Okay, 2 hours later, crisis diverted. Oof, that was a huge thing, but with the help of my 4 kids, actually only 3 of them were here, we fixed it. So let's get back to work. And there you go, he comes right on time, right after we put everything back together.
You told me 6 o'clock or 5 o'clock.
Yeah.
What time is it?
5.
5 o'clock.
Yeah. Anyway.
Okay, I'm leaving now.
Okay, bye. Well, I had to go and pick up one of my kids, so he might come back a little bit later. Okay. Oh, that was a disaster with the tent, but it got done. So anyways, I picked up my kid. Chef Tash probably is gonna come back later, he said. He asked what time he should come, and I told him around 5 because I was gonna go pick up my kid earlier, but turned out I had to deal with a tent, so I left by 5 from here. So when he came, I had to leave, so that was unfortunate, but he said he might come a bit later. Anyways, so now that we're back on the car, we have to do something important here. Remember, we put the driving gear there according to our top dead center. Well, now our top dead center moved, now it came to the right place, but I'm sure that our distributor now is in the wrong place. I'm gonna pull out the spark plugs again, and I'm gonna turn to top dead center, and we will see where the rotor is gonna end up. Okay, so that's upside down. This is where they overlap. Oops, sorry. This is where they overlap. So I have to make one more revolution again. Okay. So this is our firing stroke. Both rockers are loose, which means the valves are closed, which means this is our firing stroke top dead center. And if you're thinking about the valves, if I have to readjust them too, no, because I didn't adjust them based on the top dead center. I adjusted them based on the rule of 13, which is corresponding to the camshaft only, not to the crank. So the relevance of the crankshaft to the camshaft doesn't affect the rule of 13. If I adjusted them based on the top dead center of each cylinder, then I was gonna have to readjust them. But so now I'm gonna redo the gear, and since I'm gonna be taking the distributor out, I might as well prime the oil system. Alright, so I sacrificed this extension, 3/8. I kept the end that it will fit in this adapter, which adapter I can actually put in my screw gun or in a drill. And actually I prefer a drill because the screw gun has a clutch and that's not good. So I'm gonna put it in a drill, which drill also has a clutch, but I'm gonna set it to no clutch. I'm gonna set it to direct. And the other end of the extension I made look like the bottom of the drive gear. So now with this we can reach down and turn the oil pump without turning the engine, and that's gonna send oil all over the place. So here the oil pump, we have to turn it counterclockwise because that's the natural rotation of the distributor. I put some paper towel around because it might splash. I'm hoping that it's gonna splash. Just gonna put it there and engage it. Oh my god. Alright, so I don't know if you see down there, but the oil filter, the oil filter housing is leaking big time. And I don't know why, because I'm sure that I put properly the gasket. I double checked and triple checked. When I was taking the engine apart, there were 2 gaskets there. And I know that many times this is the reason why it leaks, but I made sure to remove them both and I installed just one new one. So that should be fine now, but it isn't. So maybe there was a reason why there were 2 gaskets there. I'm gonna have to deal with that now. It's not my day today, is it? I really don't understand what's happening because here's the gasket. Absolutely nothing wrong with the gasket. It's only one. I made sure there's no other gaskets from before there. There isn't. So what I thought maybe was the problem, because the bolt was pretty tight at the end. When I was tightening it, it was loose almost till the end, and then all of a sudden it was tight. So I thought maybe it hits the end before it tightens all the way. So what I did is I added a washer here to kind of make the bolt shorter, and that didn't work as well. Again, it was pouring all over the place. So then I took the gasket out and I put only the housing without the gasket, just to see how deep it goes. So I put it in and I tightened the bolt, and the housing was tight. And I marked here, this is how deep it goes. So the bolt is not too long. So I really don't know what the problem is. I really don't know. The gasket wasn't twisted or anything. The housing doesn't look damaged. The block doesn't look damaged. So I have no idea what the problem is. I'm gonna put it again. And this time I'm not gonna tighten this much. Maybe I over tightened it, but I'm actually pretty careful when I do that. But I don't know, I'm gonna try again. Okay, so I installed it back in with the filter inside and with the gasket, and now you can see my mark. That's how deep was going before without the gasket, and now it goes less, but it is in. It tells me that it is like 1/8 of an inch in. So let's try this again. It doesn't seem to be leaking now. Okay, That's internal inside the engine, but not from the oil filter. That's good. Really? You switched cars again?
Yeah, well,
Where's your half car?
the rule is that gentlemen are not supposed to motor after dark.
Oh yeah? Okay. My god, I can't believe this flew away today. Okay guys, so the master chef is here and we're gonna attempt to start the car obviously, but I'm gonna leave you on a cliffhanger here and we're gonna see that in next video whether we did the timing right this time, whether everything is okay and if it is gonna start or not. So I'm gonna try to post the next video as soon as possible, and until then stay tuned. So thanks for watching guys. Bye.